She stepped inside, looked at me, and said, "You're the one I need." Curran Armin adjusted the controls on the station's main console and leaned back. For weeks, he had been alone here, monitoring alien signals and scanning the atmosphere for anomalies. He had always wanted to explore the unknown, but the loneliness was beginning to weigh on him. The hum of machinery and the soft beeping of monitors were the only companions he had. He sighed, looking out through the thick glass window at the endless expanse of stars. Then, suddenly, the calm was broken by an unexpected blip on his radar. Curran leaned forward, squinting at the display. The blip was moving fast, heading straight toward the station. He frowned. "That's not a regular satellite," he muttered. His heart began to race. He had seen many things during his career, but nothing like this. Moments later, a loud explosion rocked the station. Alarms blared and lights flashed red. Curran grabbed his emergency harness and ran toward the docking bay. Smoke and sparks filled the corridor, but he pushed forward. The station's security cameras showed a small spacecraft spiraling out of control, crashing onto the surface of Scifi 9 just outside the station's protective field. Without hesitation, Curran activated the emergency shuttle. He piloted it carefully down through the dense clouds. The ship was badly damaged, its hull scorched and bent. Through the cracks in the canopy, he could see a figure moving inside. Someone or something was alive. He landed beside the wreckage and opened the hatch. The air was filled with smoke and a faint scent of ozone. And then he saw her. She was human-like but not entirely human. Her skin shimmered faintly, almost like the light of the planet itself reflected on her. Her eyes were deep and bright, a color Curran could not name. She looked at him directly, and her voice, soft but clear, cut through the tension. "You're the one I need." Curran froze. He had expected many things, an alien, a machine, a warning, but not these words. I'm Curran," he said cautiously. "Who are you?" "My name is Lyra," she replied, her gaze steady. "I need your help. The galaxy, it's in danger." Before Curran could respond, her ship's remaining systems began to emit a strange pulse, sending a warning signal into the surrounding space. Red lights flashed, and the countdown timer on her console began ticking down. Something was coming, something dangerous. Curran quickly helped her out of the ship. She moved with grace, almost floating, yet her presence was commanding. He guided her into the station and sealed the entrance. Inside, Lyra's eyes scanned the station, taking in the technology, the instruments, the life support systems. Then, almost as if reading his mind, she spoke again. "This station, it can help us, but we must act quickly." Curran tried to understand. "Act? What do you mean? What's coming?" Lyra turned to him, her expression serious. "A species that conquers worlds. They take everything: technology, knowledge, even lives. They are coming for my people and soon for yours." Curran felt a chill. He had studied alien threats before, read every record available, but nothing in the archives could prepare him for this. His mind raced. "Why me?" he asked, unable to hide the desperation in his voice. "Why do you need me?" Lyra stepped closer. "Because humans are unpredictable. You think in ways we cannot. You find solutions when logic fails. You have something we don't: creativity, courage, and intuition. That is why you are the one I need." Curran's pulse quickened. He wanted to ask more questions, but the alarms interrupted him. The station's sensors had picked up a massive fleet approaching Scifi 9. The shapes were large and ominous, their movements precise, almost mechanical. "Enemy ships," Curran whispered. Lyra nodded. "We do not have much time. If we do not act, my people will be destroyed, and soon humans may face the same fate." He swallowed hard. This was more than a research mission now. It was survival. His hands shook slightly as he moved toward the command console. "Okay," he said. "Show me what I need to do." Lyra led him to her ship's control panel, which she had carried inside. The panel was complex, filled with symbols and holographic displays. Curran's eyes darted over the controls. Even with his experience, this technology was unlike anything he had ever seen. You need to unlock the defense protocols, Lyra explained. The system is designed for my species, but only a human can activate its true potential. Your unpredictability, it is the key. Curran nodded, swallowing the lump in his throat. He had trained for emergencies, but this was beyond any simulation or preparation. He studied the symbols, pressing buttons, twisting dials. Slowly, the system began to respond. Lights flickered, screens glowed, and the hum of alien technology merged with the station's own systems. Outside, the fleet drew closer. Shadows of enormous ships passed over the clouds, their hulls glinting like dark stars. The countdown from Lyra's ship reached 10 minutes. 10 minutes to impact, Curran muttered. Lyra placed a hand on his shoulder. Trust yourself. Trust the human mind. He nodded, though fear gnawed at him. His fingers moved faster, pressing sequences of controls, improvising based on instinct rather than logic. Slowly, the system accepted his commands. Shields powered up, defensive turrets spun into position, and a strange energy field formed around the station. Curran exhaled. It was not perfect, but it was a start. Then, the first attack came. A small scout ship from the fleet dove through the clouds, firing energy pulses at the station. Curran guided the defenses, aiming the turrets, dodging the shots with precise timing. Lyra assisted, manipulating her ship systems to amplify his actions. Together, human and alien worked as one. The scout ship was destroyed in a burst of light. Curran felt a surge of confidence. "We can do this," he said, almost to himself. Lyra looked at him and smiled faintly. "We can survive if we continue like this." The rest of the fleet had not yet arrived, but Curran knew it was only a matter of time. The next wave would be stronger, faster, more destructive. He felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. Yet, at the same time, he felt alive in a way he never had before. This was humanity in its purest form: creativity, courage, and resilience under pressure. Suddenly, a flash of light outside the station caught his eye. A massive ship from the fleet was descending rapidly. Curran and Lyra exchanged a glance. They had no choice now, they had to fight, and fast. Lyra placed her hand on his arm. "The battle is only beginning, Curran, but remember, you are the one I need. Humanity is the key." Curran took a deep breath, gripping the controls tightly. He had no idea if they would survive the next attack, but one thing was certain: he would not give up. Not now, not ever. The station shook as the first massive enemy ship unleashed a volley of energy beams. Sparks flew, alarms screamed, and Curran's heart pounded. But he focused, improvising, predicting, reacting. For the first time, he understood the power of human unpredictability. It could save lives. It could change the course of the galaxy. And somewhere deep inside, Curran felt a strange sense of destiny. He had always wanted to explore the unknown. Now the unknown was here, staring him in the face. And he was ready. The countdown on Lyra's console hit 1 minute, and the battle was about to escalate. Curran's eyes met hers, and in that moment, no words were needed. They were partners now, human and alien, standing together against impossible odds. And just as the first salvo of the enemy fleet hit, Part 1 ends. The station shakes violently, alarms scream, and the screen fades to a bright flash of energy. The audience is left wondering, will Curran survive? Can humanity really turn the tide? And what secrets does Lyra hold? The first wave of enemy ships had passed, leaving scorched clouds and drifting debris in their wake. Curran's hand still shook from the adrenaline, but there was no time to rest. The fleet was massive, far larger than he had imagined. From the observation deck, he could see dozens of sleek black ships moving in perfect formation, their energy cores glowing ominously. Lyra floated beside him, her glowing eyes scanning the displays. "They are adaptive," she said. "Each attack you survive, they adjust. Your station's defenses alone will not hold them for long." Curran swallowed hard. "Then what do we do?" How can humans even fight something like this? Lyra's gaze softened, almost pitying. Humans are different. You are unpredictable. You think in ways others cannot. That is why I need you. I have a plan, but it requires your mind, your intuition, your courage. Curran nodded, trying to steady his breathing. He had faced crises before, but nothing like this. This was survival on a galactic scale. Every instinct in him screamed to run, but he could not. Humanity had always survived by thinking, creating, and adapting. That was what he would do now. Lyra guided him to her ship's control panel, which they had secured inside the station. Unlike human machines, it was smooth, almost alive, with holographic symbols floating in the air. Curran reached out tentatively, touching the glowing symbols. Instantly, data and patterns streamed into his mind. The system was designed to anticipate attacks, calculate defense trajectories, and counter enemy movements. But it was too rigid. It could not improvise like a human mind. That's where you come in, Lyra said. The system is powerful, but it needs your unpredictability to work. If we fail, my people are gone, and yours may be next. Curran clenched his fists. Fear tried to creep in, but he pushed it aside. He had trained his whole life for moments like this, though never on such a scale. He studied the holographic displays, noticing patterns in the enemy fleet's movement. They always attack in pairs, he muttered. Their scouts circle, then the main ships strike together. Lyra's eyes widened. Yes, that is a weakness, but you must be bold. You must act before they adapt again. Curran nodded and began working. He manipulated the controls, adjusting shields, rerouting energy to turrets, and improvising new attack sequences. He did things the system had never been programmed to do. The alien technology responded in ways even Lyra did not anticipate. The station pulsed with energy, glowing brighter with every adjustment. Outside, the next wave approached. Massive ships descended through the clouds, their hulls radiating heat and light. Energy beams streaked toward the station. Curran dodged, fired, and predicted enemy movements with human intuition. One ship surged close, expecting a collision, but Curran anticipated its path and activated a hidden defense matrix, sending the vessel spinning into the atmosphere. Lyra's voice was full of awe. Incredible, no one else could have done that. Only a human could think like this. Curran's confidence grew, but the battle was far from over. Another wave of ships descended, faster and smarter than the first. Curran's mind raced. Each move required split-second decisions, blending human improvisation with alien technology. He felt the familiar thrill of creation. The same drive that had inspired him to explore the stars now kept him alive. During a brief pause in the attacks, Curran and Lyra reviewed the station's scans. "This fleet is not just for conquest," Lyra said. "They are collecting intelligence, absorbing knowledge, adapting technology from every species they encounter. If they reach your homeworld, they will assimilate it. Humanity may not survive." Curran felt a chill. "Then we have to stop them here at all costs." Lyra nodded. "There is one way. My ship contains a prototype weapon. It can destroy the fleet, but only a human mind can operate it fully. You are the one who can unlock it." Curran's heart pounded. "What do I have to do?" She led him back to the wrecked ship's control panel. Unlike the station's defenses, this system was entirely alien. The controls floated in midair, responding to gestures and thought patterns. Symbols shifted constantly, forming patterns that seemed alive. Curran felt overwhelmed, but Lyra's hand on his shoulder steadied him. "You must sync with it," she said. "Let your intuition guide the system. Do not overthink, trust yourself." Curran nodded and closed his eyes. Slowly, he let his mind flow into the system, analyzing patterns, predicting enemy movements, improvising responses. Energy surged through the ship, and the alien weapon hummed with power. For the first time, Curran felt truly connected to something beyond himself, a fusion of human creativity and alien technology. Outside, the fleet attacked again. This time, Curran was ready. He anticipated their moves before they happened, activating shields, redirecting energy, and targeting ships with unerring precision. The enemy faltered, unsure of how a single station could resist their calculated strategies. Lyra watched in amazement. "They cannot predict you," she said. "Humans, you are remarkable." The battle intensified. Enemy ships formed tight formations, attempting to overwhelm the station's defenses. Curran's mind raced. He noticed a pattern. Every time they attacked, a small gap opened briefly in their formation. Without hesitation, he targeted that weak spot, firing an energy pulse that disrupted the entire wave. Several ships exploded in a brilliant cascade of light. Lyra gasped. "You've done it, you've turned the tide." But the victory was short-lived. A massive ship, larger than any before, emerged from the clouds. Its hull shimmered with energy-absorbing fields, making it almost impervious to the station's weapons. Curran's confidence faltered. He had no direct way to hit it. "This is it," Lyra said, her voice tense. "The flagship. If it reaches the station, everything we've done will be destroyed." Curran's mind raced. Then, suddenly, he saw it, a tiny energy signature at the ship's base. If he could target it precisely, he might bypass the shields. It was a risky move. One wrong calculation and the station could be obliterated. He took a deep breath, trusting instinct over reason. "Hold on," he said. "I think I can do this." With careful precision, Curran guided the alien weapon's energy pulse toward the signature. The pulse hit its mark and the massive ship shuddered violently. Lights flickered and the hull cracked. The fleet faltered, uncertain and confused. Lyra's eyes shone with pride. "You did it, Curran. You saved my people." But the battle was not over. More ships were coming, and Curran knew this was only the beginning. He had won the first decisive moment, but the fleet was adaptive. They would learn. They would strike again. During a brief moment of calm, Curran and Lyra reviewed the situation. "We need more than defense," Curran said. "We need a plan to strike back, to prevent them from ever reaching another planet." Lyra nodded. "There is a solution, but it is dangerous. It requires traveling to the fleet's source. If we fail, we die, and humanity may not survive either." Curran's jaw tightened. Fear was there, but so was determination. He had never felt such responsibility for an entire species before. He looked at Lyra and nodded. "Then we go." "Whatever it takes," she smiled faintly. "I knew you would say that. Humans, you are unpredictable. That is your greatest strength." The station trembled as the remaining fleet regrouped. Curran knew time was short. The enemy would not wait, and hesitation could cost everything. He worked quickly, preparing the station's systems, fusing human intuition with alien technology to create a weapon capable of confronting the fleet at its source. As they prepared, Lyra revealed something else. "Curran, my species has one more secret. We can connect minds in battle, share thoughts and instincts, but only one human has ever succeeded in syncing fully. You are the one. If you fail, the fleet will destroy us all." Curran's heart pounded. He swallowed his fear. This was no longer just survival, it was destiny. Humanity's ingenuity, creativity, and courage had brought them this far. Now, it would decide the fate of not just one planet, but the galaxy. The observation deck shook as enemy scouts approached again. Curran and Lyra prepared to launch the counterattack, combining human unpredictability and alien power. Curran's mind raced with possibilities, thinking ahead, improvising, predicting enemy actions before they happened. And then, the fleet attacked once more. Energy beams streaked through the sky. The station's shields flared. Curran moved with lightning speed, adjusting the alien weapon in real time. Ships were destroyed, disabled, or diverted. Every move felt like a dance of survival. Finally, after a tense and exhausting battle, the fleet retreated temporarily, regrouping far above the clouds. Curran and Lyra watched from the observation deck, exhausted but alive. Lyra floated closer, her hand resting lightly on his shoulder. "You have done what no one else could. You are truly the one I need." Curran exhaled slowly. He had survived, yes, but he knew the real challenge lay ahead. The fleet's source remained, and the fate of countless worlds depended on what they did next. For the first time, he understood the power of humanity. Our courage, creativity, and unpredictability could turn the tide, even against overwhelming odds. And as the stars shone above Zythera 9, Curran felt a strange sense of hope. The battle was far from over, but for the first time, he believed they could win. Humanity had already proven itself. Now, it was time to finish what they had started. The countdown to the next attack had already begun. Part 2 ends with the enemy fleet regrouping and preparing for a massive strike, leaving the audience on the edge. Will Curran and Lyra succeed? Can humans truly outsmart a species that absorbs technology and intelligence? Part 3 will reveal the ultimate stand. The observation deck shook violently as the enemy fleet loomed above the clouds once more. Curran Armin's hands were steady on the controls, but his mind raced. The fleet had grown larger since the last encounter. Every ship moved with deadly precision, their energy cores glowing like malevolent stars. Lyra floated beside him, her expression tense but calm, as if she could sense the storm of events yet to unfold. "This is it, Curran," she said softly. "The fleet's source is near. If we fail, everything we've fought for will be lost." Curran swallowed hard. He had faced impossible odds before, but this was the climax, not just of the battle, but of everything humanity had ever fought to achieve. He looked at Lyra, whose glowing eyes held a mixture of trust and urgency. "I understand," he said. "Let's finish this." Lyra's hand rested on his shoulder. "To defeat them, we must combine human unpredictability with alien technology fully. You are the only one who can do it." "Trust yourself, Curran," he nodded. Taking a deep breath, Curran began the process of syncing with the alien weapon system. This was unlike anything he had ever experienced. The controls floated before him, responding not just to touch but to thought. Symbols and holograms shifted in response to his instincts. He felt the power of the weapon flowing into him, intertwining with his mind, reacting to every impulse and decision he made. Lyra observed silently. "Remember, don't overthink. Let your intuition guide the system. Think like a human, act like a mind untamed." Curran closed his eyes and let go of fear. Slowly, the station's energy pulsed in harmony with him. He could feel the fleet's movements, almost as if he were predicting their thoughts. Ships darted left and right, firing volleys of energy, but Curran anticipated every move. The first wave of attacks began. Enemy ships swooped down through the clouds, beams of light streaking across the sky. Curran moved with precision, guiding the alien weapon to intercept, deflect, and counterattack. One massive cruiser came straight at the station, expecting to overwhelm the defenses. Curran redirected the energy pulse, and the cruiser spun violently out of formation before being torn apart by concentrated bursts of light. Lyra's eyes widened. "Incredible, your mind, it's perfect for this. The unpredictability of humans is a weapon they cannot calculate." Curran felt a surge of confidence but knew it could not last. The fleet was adaptive. They would learn quickly. Another wave approached, faster and more coordinated than the last. Energy pulses streaked through the sky, igniting the clouds into brilliant flashes. The station shook under the impact, alarms screaming, systems overloading. Curran adjusted, improvised, and rerouted energy with split-second timing. He felt his heartbeat sync with the weapon system. Every move, every decision was instinctive. The alien technology amplified his thoughts, making him a force no algorithm could predict. Lyra floated closer. "Curran, the flagship, it's coming. The biggest threat yet. If it reaches us, the entire station will be destroyed." He nodded. "Then I'll stop it, whatever it takes." The flagship descended through the clouds like a dark sun. Its energy-absorbing shields flickered with deadly light, making direct attacks almost useless. Curran studied its movements, noticing a tiny fluctuation at its core, a weak point just like before but smaller, faster, almost impossible to hit. "I can target it," Curran said, his voice steady despite the tension. "But it will take everything I have." Lyra's gaze met his. "I will guide you. Together, human and alien, we can do this." Curran focused. He let the weapon system flow through him completely, feeling it as an extension of his mind. The energy surged, responding to his instincts. He calculated trajectories, predicted enemy maneuvers, and synchronized every turret, shield, and pulse of energy in a perfect rhythm. The flagship fired, sending a torrent of energy toward the station. Curran anticipated the path, redirecting the pulses with surgical precision. The station's shields flared, holding under the intense pressure. Another moment and Curran saw an opening, a small energy vent at the base of the flagship. "This is it," he muttered. "Hold everything and trust me." He directed the alien weapon's full energy into the vent. The pulse hit perfectly, igniting a chain reaction inside the flagship. The ship trembled, then erupted in a blinding explosion that lit the clouds with golden fire. Energy waves rippled through the sky as the rest of the fleet faltered, confused and disoriented. Curran's combination of human intuition and alien technology had done the impossible. Lyra gasped. "You've done it, Curran. You've stopped them." Curran exhaled, leaning back as the adrenaline drained from his body. The fleet retreated, scattering into the void, unable to fight without the flagship's leadership. The station was battered but intact. Humanity had survived. For a moment, silence filled the observation deck. Curran looked around, taking in the destruction outside and the glowing calm of Lyra beside him. "You really were the one I needed," she said softly, her voice full of gratitude. Curran smiled faintly, exhausted but proud. "I think humans always rise to the challenge when it matters most." Lyra's eyes shone. "Yes, your species is remarkable. Courage, creativity, intuition, all of these are gifts the galaxy cannot ignore. Humans may be the key to survival for many worlds." Curran felt a swell of pride, but also humility. He had been just one human in the vastness of space. Yet, in this moment, humanity's uniqueness had been enough to turn the tide. He had trusted himself when no algorithm could, improvised when logic failed, and acted when others hesitated. Lyra placed a glowing hand over his. "Now, we must ensure the fleet can never return. Their source is still out there, but with your mind, with human ingenuity, we can find it and neutralize it completely." Curran nodded. "Then let's finish this. Humanity doesn't give up, and neither do I." Together, they repaired the station's systems, using Curran's creativity to enhance the alien technology. Shields were strengthened, sensors recalibrated, and energy pulses reconfigured into a pattern that could track the fleet anywhere in the galaxy. Curran even designed an improvised command algorithm that would allow humans to anticipate enemy attacks in the future, a combination of instinct and machine intelligence. Lyra floated beside him, amazed. "You've done something no one else could. Humans, you are not just survivors. You are protectors, creators, heroes, and now you are part of the galaxy in a way no other species can be." Curran smiled, a mixture of exhaustion and triumph. "I didn't do it alone. We worked together, human and alien, that's what made the difference." The next few hours were tense but uneventful. The fleet had retreated and the station was stable. Curran and Lyra observed the planet below, watching the clouds shift and the stars shimmer above. The galaxy felt vast, dangerous, and beautiful all at once. Finally, Curran spoke. "What happens now?" Lyra's eyes glowed softly. "Now, we make sure the galaxy knows that humanity exists and that we are not to be underestimated. You, Curran, have proven the potential of your species. Together, we can prevent future threats, protect worlds, and ensure life continues." Curran felt a warmth spread through him. For so long, humanity had struggled to survive, to explore, to understand its place in the universe. Now he realized humans were not just survivors, they were essential, capable of facing challenges that no one else could. Lyra stepped closer, her gaze steady. You have shown me something incredible. Courage, creativity, resilience, these are human strengths. And you are the embodiment of them all. Curran chuckled softly. I guess I really was the one you needed. Lyra smiled faintly, her form shimmering in the soft glow of the station's lights. Yes, and so were all humans. Your kind may be unpredictable, but that unpredictability is your greatest power. Never forget it. Outside, the stars sparkled as the enemy fleet faded into the distance, a reminder of the danger that had almost been. But for now, humanity had survived. The galaxy was vast, full of mysteries, threats, and wonders, and humans, with their courage and ingenuity, were ready for whatever came next. Curran stood on the observation deck, looking out at the endless expanse of space. He felt hope, determination, and a deep connection to something far larger than himself. Humanity had been tested and had proven itself worthy. Lyra floated beside him, her eyes reflecting the stars. Curran, the galaxy is just beginning to understand humans. And I am grateful to have you here, Curran smiled. Then let's make sure they never forget us. The station hummed with renewed energy, a symbol of human ingenuity fused with alien technology. The battle was won, but the journey was just beginning. Humanity had shown it could survive, adapt, and triumph, even against impossible odds. And now, in the heart of the galaxy, humans had earned their place among the stars. Part 3 ends with Curran and Lyra looking toward the stars, ready to face the future together. A perfect HFY conclusion that celebrates human courage, creativity, and unpredictability.